Welcome to Truth-Filled Trajectory episode number 1. I'm Loomis. Some of you may know me from the podcast Chant It Down Radio. Check it out if you haven't. Today, we're going to focus on the slums of Honolulu and greater Oahu areas. Yes, Hawaii is known for its beautiful scenery and climate, but we also have regular old everyday life here like anywhere else. And in a city the size of this, you can expect there to be slums. Although we're not known for our high crime rates in Hawaii compared to the mainland United States, we still have slums. They're not as bad as places like Philadelphia or Baltimore, Detroit, or Chicago, but they're worse than you may think. Hey, Hawaii is still paradise, so don't think by visiting here that you will ever even see these places. In fact, these places are way off the beaten path. And because it's Hawaii, we have an entirely different set of cultures in our slums than the rest of the United States. Hawaii is not typical America. It's more like a different country than it is a different state. So let's go take a look at the side of Hawaii most people don't ever see. There is a reason for showing you this today too, and that is part of the truth-filled trajectory at the end of this video. There's a couple reasons why I show you the slums of Hawaii. A, it's an interesting perspective that most people never see, even if you have visited here and you probably know very little about. But B, because there's a deeper message here. Yeah, this is urban Hawaii, and 80% of Hawaii does live on this island, so there's much more to Hawaii than just this island of Oahu. But I mentioned that our slums have different cultures in the United States mainland. The majority of the residents in these communities are from places like the Philippines, Micronesia, Samoa, Tonga, and mainly on our west side, those of Hawaiian descent. The indigenous of any land taken over are always put at the bottom of society. You ever notice that? Yet it was their land first. There's a deeper level to all this. The way government works is somebody has to be on the bottom. Government never just leaves people alone. I mean, actually, the very concept of civilization doesn't even work right if you want to go deeper some other time perhaps. Whenever you go in the world, wherever, any place, you'll see scarcity. A ghetto is people living in scarcity. And when people live in scarcity, they don't have the abundance they need to live correct, and they feel inadequate, and a lot of things happen to societies that have been damaged. A lot of damaged people that are raising damaged people, which becomes a pretty big problem for a family community structure. So we have a lot of problems in Hawaii just like anywhere else, and that creates these conundrums. First world ghettos are different than third world ghettos and places like that because people have food and running water, and mostly shelter. Depends on what you call shelter. So, I mean, the homeless don't have much of one, do they? But, still, a lot of the first world amenities. But in the first world, you have the haves and the have-nots living close to each other, making the have-nots feel inadequate. Along with ghettos comes a mentality that keeps people there. Of course, there's good, hard-working people in these communities, and they're just trying to do the right thing, and down-to-earth people, may I add. But the government is an oppressor, but so is ghetto mentality. It keeps people stuck in that mindset. Generations of broken families without proper guidance in life create this condition. And with no way out, people stay there, continuing to raise people in their broken conditions in these environments. Ghettos are places where people have lost the spirit of living and lost touch with nature. And that's what civilization does. It destroys our connection with nature. It's places where groups of people are swept aside by the system and are expected to fend for themselves. Hey, I'm not a communist, but a lot of people think that if everyone had equal amount of everything, that would end scarcity. Have people lost sight of what communism has been in history? It doesn't work. It might sound good on paper, but it never really works that way. Never. No, government never works. No government system really works. And if you're going to have government, you're going to have corruption. You're going to have people living in scarcity. We don't have equality till government dissolves and leaves everyone alone and consciousness levels rise up. People just want to be free and live. It's really not that much to ask. Humanity won't get anywhere looking for answers in government. When has that ever worked, really? Government killed 262 million in the last century alone and doing so much more right now. So really, humanity needs to be free and find a new existence. So if you find this sort of information interesting, tune into Chant It Down Radio. That is just a tidbit. This show, Truth-Filled Trajectory, is just an extension of that with visuals. But tune in until next time. Enjoy Truth-Filled Trajectory.